You kill him hard, you kill him sadistically, and then you bring him back dead. Louis Mandylor, people. I mean, if this movie teaches us anything, it's that director Mark Savage knows that having Louis Mandylor in your movie makes it pretty much 100% better than it already was. That's right, everyone. We are back. Nerdly Out Loud. Yeah, my name is Kevin Halden. This is Nerdly Out Loud, the official channel of nerdly.co.uk, your favourite British home for all of your news, reviews, and exclusive interviews. We like to cover everything from the big budget to the low budget to the no budget, with a special keen interest on the lower end of the scale. It's where my heart lives, it's where it lies, and I'll always push the indie guys. Oh my god, that was like a new rhyme and I didn't even mean it. I'll take that. Please do all those amazing things, which is hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and ding that notification bell. It does help us with the algorithm and everything like that. We're nearly at 900. I am aiming for 1,000 before the end of the year, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. I've been rebuilding the channel for the last year now. Slowly catches the monkey or kills the monkey or the worm, or slowly does it. But we will get there. I keep pushing the content out and you guys keep watching. So that is all that matters to me. As long as you guys are watching, I'm having fun. And today we are talking about Bring Him Back Dead, the latest movie from Mark Savage. And I am recording this on possibly one of the hottest days of the year. As you can see, I have soundproof everywhere, so it's really warm. That's why I'm sweating. So let's get into the review, because I'm gonna have to be quick. And if you've seen this channel before, if you've seen my reviews before, you will know how I do all of this. I like to talk about the plot of the movie with as few spoilers as humanly possible. I like to talk about the cast and the characters of this movie, and then I like to get into what I did and what I didn't like about the movie, and then I will give you my final rating of said movie. That is the rating of Nerdly Out Loud, not the rating of Nerdly on the Whole, which Phil likes me to tell everybody because Phil feels like he's like the boss and tells me to do things or how to do things. He kind of is the boss. Yeah. So Bring Him Back Dead, in a nutshell, is kind of like Reservoir Dogs, in as much as we get a botched heist. We kind of see the botched heist at the start of the movie, and then all the gang end up going back to this cabin in the woods to sort of hide out and figure out what went wrong. We then realize that there might be someone within the group who's kind of foiled the plans and he's going to steal the loot and do a runner. So it's kind of like, let's figure out who that guy is or that girl is. Let's figure out who done it. And that's kind of the movie. We're also kind of waiting for Louis Mandylor to come along because he is the leader of the gang. We're going to be getting a Daniel Baldwin cameo later on in the movie because he's a mysterious man with mysterious motives. And that's kind of your movie. It's sort of, I wouldn't say it's reinventing anything. It's kind of doing what we've seen before. We get some really good action sequences throughout this movie. We get some good punchy, kicky stuff, some good flashbacky stuff. But essentially, it's kind of like Reservoir Dogs in a way, I guess. But it's doing something a little bit different. And we have a fantastic Louis Mandylor performance to admire, as we always do in any movie that he's in. So let's talk about the cast and the characters. And again, Mandylor as Trent, the gang leader, has absolutely every one of the best lines, and they're all trying to have good one-liners. Everybody's trying to deliver some of their dialogue like, you know what, this is one of those lines that's going to stick, like one of those 80s, 90s movies lines that people are going to be saying for years. But of course, Louis Mandylor gets the kill him hard, kill him sadistically, and then bring him back dead. There is more after that where he's on about like pissing on his corpse and all that, but he didn't need any of that. The kill him sadistically, that got me. That was a great line. Just Trent as a character is a bit of an ass. Like, he just kind of wants to get through this. You do kind of empathize with him a little bit, because when you start to get little bit of backstory on the character, it turns out he might not be the baddest guy in the group, but he's still a bad guy, so we're not allowed to root for him too much. The anti-hero of the group, or the hero of the story, or the guy we're going to be spending most time with, is Gary Daniels, who is always dependable. Gary Daniels will always give you a good role. He will play it well. He will make sure you believe the character, and he's a good anti-hero. I like Gary Daniels, and in this movie, he's doing a bulk of the heavy lifting. Like, a lot of the fight sequences come from him, a lot of the action sequences are coming from him. He's doing a very good job. I like Gary Daniels, but I think his character gets short-shifted in this movie because there's other characters who are just a little bit cooler than him, so we got to spend more time with them. They got to have better lines. That's just the way these movies work, isn't it? I mentioned before that Daniel Baldwin comes into this movie, and I'm sure he was loving the entirety of the one day on set he had. I kid, I don't know how long he was on set, but he's not in it for long. He doesn't have much to do, and he's killed pretty unceremoniously, to the point where I was like, how did that happen? Like, I wasn't actually sure how he died or how he got killed, but he got killed. Daniel Baldwin, ladies and gentlemen, is in this movie. And our main female of the movie, our main female lead, is Katie Keene. She's actually really good in the movie. She's got some good dialogue, some good stuff to do. Some of the twists come from this character, so it's pretty cool to watch. I liked Katie Keene. I just, again, much like Gary Daniels' character, she's kind of short-shifted. The dialogue between them is a bit clunky. I kind of didn't really buy the love-hate relationship. I wasn't feeling it. So let's talk about what I didn't like. And that's one of the main things, is that the characters, while they all have their own lines and they all have really cool shit to say, you're not really buying them as a team. I suppose that plays into the fractured nature of any kind of villain group. And it's sort of meant to be like that. But it just kind of, nothing was really hitting. You know, like when you watch Reservoir Dogs and the banter back and forth is like firing on cylinders and it's like synapses are going and everybody's like finishing each other's lines and they're all kind of getting the back and forth going and you love it. There's not really a lot of this in that movie. It's more a case of Gary Daniels has time to talk, so he pushes everyone out of the way. Doesn't do that, but it's what it feels like. Louis Mandylor has time to talk, so he's pushing everyone out of the way. He definitely does that because he shines in anything. The action sequences are really cool. The movie, for what I'm assuming isn't a massive budget, it looks pretty good. It actually looks really good. A couple of ropey camera angles that I felt like hard edits didn't really need to be done there, or any other edit would have been fine rather than the one you chose. But the movie does flow nicely, so I've got no problems with it. The ending of the movie, like, if you're gonna do plot twists, pick one, maybe two. Don't have 10. Don't keep trying to surprise me. Don't keep trying to go for this, go for that. It's a movie called Bringing Back Dead, about a gang committing a heist that's gone wrong, and then they're all going to try and figure out who the mole is. Just do that. Just let it be that. Obviously, you're going to need a twist when you find out who the mole is or who the moles were or anything like that. So you do need that twist, but you don't need the twist and then a twist with another twist. The movie's called Bringing Back Dead. Keep it simple, please. I think Mark Savage, as a director, he's got what it takes. He definitely does have what it takes. There's definitely something there. There's a really good movie in here. The dialogue, while it does feel like you're just trying to get one-liner after one-liner or cool bit of dialogue after cool bit of dialogue, which is pretty hypocritical of me to say because I started this whole thing by doing a Louis Mandylor one-liner. Savage does have a good grasp of what this movie should feel like, what this movie truly is at its heart and in its essence, which is probably the best thing I can say for him as a director. He does know what he's doing, and he knows his wheelhouse, and he knows the lane that he's currently in. And that, for me, is what you really need from a director. Sometimes they shoot for the stars, aim for the moon, end up in the dirt. He's not done that here. He's definitely aimed at an achievable level and hit that achievable level. So I think he's probably done exactly what he wanted to do with this movie. I don't think he's sacrificed any of his artistic integrity or directorial integrity. It's a movie called Bringing Back Dead that needed to feel like a 90s sort of action heist movie gone wrong, and it does feel like that, with characters that feel like that, dialogue that feels like that. Having said that, for my final rate, I can only go for a 3. It's definitely a 3 out of 5 for me. The movie is 100% elevated by the fact that Mandylor's in there because he's awesome. Daniel Baldwin showing up. I made a joke earlier about the role he plays, but he shows up and it does give you a little bit of gravitas to the movie. Gary Daniels in the lead. I'm always going to be happy with that, but you always kind of know that when Gary Daniels is in the lead, you're more going to be looking at your supporting roles. And there's nothing wrong with that. It means he's a dependable lead who can hold the movie, who can keep the movie propelled forward, and then everyone else can kind of do what they need to do. I wouldn't go any higher than that, but I definitely wouldn't go any lower than that. You know, it's not the best movie you're ever going to see. It's not the most perfect movie you're ever going to see, but it is a good movie that's worth your time. If you've not got much else going on, give this movie a watch. I think you'll enjoy it. Shut the brain off. Don't be too critical of it. You'll get a laugh out of some of the lines and some of the action, and just go with it. Just go with it. Bring him back dead. Put that on your poster, by the way. Just go with it. Nerdly Out Loud. Yeah, that's a review. 3 out of 5. Please do hit that like, hit that subscribe button, ding that notification bell, and I will be back shortly with more videos, more reviews, more interviews. I got loads incoming. There's always stuff on the back burner, in the pipeline. Fright Fest is coming up soon, so I'll be dropping some Fright Fest reviews. Grim Fest is on its way, which our friends over at Dark Fable Media are releasing their movie, premiering their movie, Feed Me, with the wonderful, wonderful Neil Ward in it as well. So that's going to be at Grimfest this year, so we'll be doing stuff for that. Can't wait for that. There's loads more incoming, so just keep an eye on the channel. Like I say, hit that notification bell and it will tell you whenever I drop something. But for now, Bring 'Em Back Dead, 3 out of 5, worth a watch. Go for it. Hit me in the comments if you watch it and let me know what you thought. I'm out.